Hey, what's up? Today is day 29 in this 30-day challenge where I do 100 push-ups every day. One day away. I'm one day away from completing this challenge. I hope you're also one day away from completing it. Even if it's not 100, whether it be 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever your maximum is, I hope you're able to improve on that at least once per day. Aiming for 100, of course. But without further ado, let's get down to the first set of 25 decline push-ups. Set number 1. It is now 11:15 a.m. Just spent maybe the past 5 minutes fooling around in front of the mirror and in front of the camera, getting pictures of my abs because I just finished my ab workout. Not gonna lie, it's almost like the six-pack is almost back, but not really. That time when I was at the hotel, that's still the peak it's been at, but I'm definitely on the correct trajectory right now. So it's nice to see just those tiny glimpses where the angle is just right and the pump is just right and the timing is just right and it looks like you have the six-pack. So I took some pictures after reviewing them. It's definitely, as I said, it's definitely not the same peak that it was at in the hotel, but it's better than it was yesterday. So once again, it's kind of a late start to today's video. I woke up early, well, relatively early, a little after 6 a.m. and I immediately went downstairs to my parents to watch the Jamaica-Brazil match, which, spoiler alert, we drew the match 0-0, but that means we go through to the round of 16 by 1 point above Brazil. I don't know how we were able to do it, but now that we have, I wholeheartedly believe that Jamaica can win the Women's World Cup. No matter who we get throughout the knockout stages, the fact that we have qualified out of the group stages is more than enough reason to believe we can go all the way. So that's my belief. I wholeheartedly believe Jamaica will win the Women's World Cup. Nobody can convince me otherwise. So yeah, I was watching the match with my parents, and then that match finished around 7, a little after 7 a.m. So everywhere between 8 to 10 a.m. was really spent unproductively watching YouTube videos, mostly about cars which I know that I'm not going to be able to afford at this current point in my life right now. So it could have been time spent doing something else that would have helped me work on getting to that point where I want to get, so I could actually afford those cars. But baby steps, baby steps. There's more that I'll expound on after this second set, which is the wide angle push-ups. That's the second set. Whew. So yeah, after I finished watching most of the videos, I worked my way up to the Hamza video, which I mentioned yesterday, the full discipline guide, 3 hours long. Right now I believe I am 1 hour and 55 minutes throughout the video. I really could have stopped a lot sooner, but I kept on making excuses and in a sense procrastinated doing this by watching more of Hamza's video. But it's definitely been very helpful so far. It's, once again, as I mentioned yesterday, that quote from Dan Coe, where people need to be reminded a lot more than they need to learn something new. And that's really true for me in most cases. because each time I watch a Hamza video, it's almost like it's a new lens that I'm watching it through, or a new perspective that is being taught to me, even though it's the same concept at the end of the day. So Hamza was talking about essentially just trying to break down our lizard brains, for lack of better words, to realize that all these easy decisions, these low value, low quality decisions that we will choose because we don't want to do the harder things, or we don't feel like doing the harder things, they will compound. You may not see the effects tomorrow, you may not see the effects next year or the next 10 years, but it's going to compound for the worse. And at the end of the day, it's not even like you're just harming only yourself. More than likely, you are also by default harming your family as well. And that's really the thing that struck home for me. Just to realization that my parents want me to retire them. They may not be telling me, but I know for sure that they would much rather spend the rest of their days relaxed, knowing that their son has risen to the challenge and has taken the role of provider and has now, eased the burden for them. That's really what I'm striving towards right now. If there's one thing I would consider to make myself successful, it's being able to retire my parents. And definitely it's going to be something I can achieve within the next 10 years. I don't care through what circle, well, I don't care how long it's going to take throughout those 10 years, but definitely in the next 10 years, whatever venture I have to go through, I'm going to be able to do it. And that's my commitment. The same way I committed to daily uploads throughout July as more of an experiment, but just the fact that I was able to stick to that, I was like, okay, now this is my new commitment. Ensure my parents are retired, because they have done too much for me. Too much that would take up this entire video if I was to list it all out. They've done too much for me to not give them the least. Literally. Right now, to me, retiring them is the least. And I don't care that I'm only 18 going 19. The quicker, the better. Yes, I know there's a long timeline to do it, sure. But at the same time, that timeline is also eating into their lifespan. Because, sure, I may be fine in the 10 years, but who knows about them? Of course, I'm going to do my best to make sure they are also as healthy as possible. But at the same time, we just will never know. So, yes, this video has been a real wake-up call to serving my parents, being able to give back to them. And once again, it just really makes me look back at all the bad habits I've been doing, I used to do, or still doing. It just makes me look at them in a different light, not necessarily out of hate, but out of disappointment that I wasn't able to just get this realization sooner. But I have the realization now, that's all that matters. That was a good rant. On to the third set, diamond push-ups. Four, and that's 5. But yeah, next thing I learned from the video is the importance of all the micro habits that will eventually lead to better discipline, and of course better discipline leads to better success. So you always hear successful people talk about make sure you make your bed, and our ego that we have is going to immediately dismiss that and say something like, oh, but it's just making my bed. How is making my bed going to lead to me becoming successful? And as I said earlier, all the small things we do or do not do, they compound into who we become later. All those small decisions make our future, essentially. So you can either be the person who makes their bed every morning, cleans out their room every morning, cleans their desk, cleans their furniture, whatever, and eventually you'll start giving yourself the character traits. You'll start building the good habits that will allow you to become more disciplined. And as I said, more discipline, more success. Because at the end of it, discipline is being able to do something hard, even if you don't want to do it. And more than likely to be successful or to achieve the success that you want to achieve, you need to do something hard and you don't feel like doing it. Because once again, the reason I took so long, the reason why it's now 11 a.m. and not 8 a.m. when I'm recording this is because I didn't feel like doing it. And of course, eventually I ended up doing it, but at what cost? Who knows what I could have spent those 3 hours earlier doing? Who knows? So yeah, those small things. Even the one that stood out to me was cleaning the desk. Because while my desk may not be visually dirty every day, I know subconsciously I know how much dust is there. Especially in my room specifically, I get the most dust out of all the rooms in the house. Maybe other than maybe the living room, but other than that, I get the most dust. So while it may not be visual piles of dust and dirt everywhere, I know it's dirty, but yet I still don't do it because I think it's beneath me. I think that I don't need to clean my room because, well, nobody else is saying it, but that's the exact mindset I'm going to have when I want to do something difficult and I don't end up doing it. For example, let's say I want to do a workout and I'm going to skip the workout because the time passed every day, I'm not really feeling it like now. I want to be a coward and skip it. And the main part is that nobody else will know. So not only do you need to have the discipline, you also need to have a sense of integrity to be able to continue doing those right things when you don't want to, even though nobody's watching. So that's something I really struggle with sometimes, integrity. Because I would use that excuse that nobody's going to find out all the times. But in truth, God is always watching. So even if nobody physical will be seeing you, you know that God is watching. I know that God is watching. God knows that He's watching. But yet I still find a way to make those excuses sometimes. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I'm going to be in a new environment for basically all of August. So that will definitely help me to force my way into a new way of thinking, which I hope will be able to compound into great results throughout this upcoming month and just throughout the rest of the year. Because I want it to compound. Well, I want it to manifest, and then I want to compound on it, and then of course I want it to just be with me throughout the rest of the year. Because the earlier I can get ahead of the competition, the better. Because a lot of people, well, majority of people, they'll just stay where they are, and that really only begins to have a noticeable gap later on in the years. But if you, as a young man, can get to places that 99% of other young men won't be, you'll be set. But remember, there's a timeline. There's a long timeline that you have to do it. I have to remind myself that as well. But baby steps. Another reason why you may not be doing things is because you keep looking at it as this big daunting task. Break it down. Let's say you go to the gym. What do you need to do to go to the gym? You need to put your clothes on. You need to pack your bag. You need to leave the house, and then you need to actually get to the gym and then actually do the workout. Break them down into little steps, and then you realize how easy it is to conquer these big and difficult tasks. But without further ado, once again, I've rambled on long enough. The last set, 25 normal push-ups. And that's 5. Today's also leg day, so I'm gonna go get myself right into my first set of Romanian deadlifts. That's the first set from today. Let me know how day 29 has been for you. We're one day away from completing this challenge. One day away. Subscribe to this channel if you want to be a part of my journey of constant improvement, my journey of new learnings and sharing it with you. Subscribe to the channel. Remember to always be improving. I'll see you again soon. God bless.